Hello everyone and welcome to another video review by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon an ABC television series with the name of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm going to talk about the entire first season. I believe the first season consisted of roughly 21 or 22 episodes. Just so you guys know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the ABC television series, has been confirmed for a season 2 that will come on later this year in the year of 2014, probably sometime in the fall, I believe, probably September, October, probably September, somewhere around that time. And just so you guys know, I won't be talking about, obviously, not every single episode because it's such a lengthy, first season. But I'll pick the ones in particular that I like and some particular scenes that I like. That way, you guys can, get a good idea of what I thought of the series. So, what is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all about? Well, obviously, if you haven't seen the Avengers film, it pretty much, major spoilers coming up if you haven't seen the series. I won't be talking too much about spoilers, but later in my review, I will get pretty heavy on spoilers. But for right now, let's just talk about the plot synopsis. So, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., what is it all about? Well, if the Avengers, spoilers coming up if you haven't seen the Avengers, Phil Coulson, died in the Avengers, but in reality, he really didn't die. It's mainly about his character and the events that his character goes through in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Pretty much what happens is there's some villains who get introduced. He has his own crew of S.H.I.E.L.D. members, and it's just them taking out villains, taking out different people. The drama that goes on, with different, people dating people, relationships, and that sort of thing, all going on within the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crew, with their head leader, Phil Coulson, being their leader. And there's this whole sort of thing going on about how he got brought back to life, how did he die, him not having any memory or recollection of how it happened, and it's pretty much his journey to finding out how this happened. That's pretty much the main plot for the first season of the ABC television series by the name of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Overall, I loved this first season. This is a great show. If you're a fan of, of any of the Marvel films, any of the ones that lead up to the Avengers film, if you're a fan of the Avengers or the Hulk film or the Iron Man films, Thor, Captain America, it doesn't matter. This is a great sort of successor to them that really adds on to the Marvel universe. It's one of my favorite things about it is that, we have this great Marvel universe, especially with all those after credit sequences, and all those Marvel films. This adds on to that universe even more, the movies always have this big budget, lots of big action, some good stories too, but the TV series, they have almost, if you want to say, almost an even better story because they have more detail in them, more character development, more story, and just good stuff. Especially if you're a big fan of the Captain America sequel, Captain America the Winter Soldier. If you're a big fan of that film, later on in the first season, they really jump off into that spectrum. Major spoiler coming up. The whole Captain America going rogue, S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra invading S.H.I.E.L.D. That plot gets introduced later on in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the ABC television series, and that's when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets really cool. I mean, it's a cool series, but when it gets to that point, it becomes an amazing series. So let's talk about some of the things I like in the ABC television series with the name of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's talk about some characters. Obviously, Clark Gregg, who plays the character of Phil Coulson, he's a great character, probably one of my favorites. He's probably not my favorite character, but he is definitely among my favorite characters in the ABC television series with the name of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's just a great character. I love the progression of his character, the journey that he goes on, the way he's written, just the whole point of him going on this journey, trying to find out how he came back to life. I believe episodes 9 or 10, around the halfway point in the television series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Marvel series, around the halfway point, he finally finds out, that these memories are planted inside of him, the whole Tahiti thing, and you find out some critical things, halfway through the series. I like those episodes in particular, and just the whole journey of his character is really interesting. Other characters that stuck out, Ming-Na Wan, who plays the character of Melinda May. I like the relationship aspect between her and I believe Brett Dalton, who plays the character of Grant Ward. Just Ward and Melinda May's relationship, Grant and Melinda, their relationship's so, interesting, romantic, and, major spoiler coming up. This is before you find out that Grant Ward is actually a part of Hydra. Before all that happens, when you just have the sort of intricate relationships going on between those two, those are some really interesting scenes that I always liked. Another character that sort of struck my interest is Bill Paxton, who, at first is just the sort of, military or marine friend of our character of our character of Phil Coulson, you end up finding out later on that he's the clairvoyant. He doesn't have any powers or anything like that. He can't see the future, but he's the clairvoyant. He plays the character of John Garrett, otherwise known as our villain. Bill Paxton plays a great character. I really liked him, especially in the finale. He just goes nuts. He becomes a complete nutcase. That's when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really shines, is that, it becomes extremely, I guess you could say, very comic book-like. It becomes very fun in the finale. It's fun, action-packed, it's full of drama, there's comedy, just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Marvel ABC television series, has lots of entertaining stuff that I believe just the whole, adults and kids alike, just the whole family can enjoy. Another character I liked was J. August Richards, who plays the character of Mike Peterson, otherwise, later on, known as becoming the Deathlock character. I really liked him. I liked just once again, similar to Phil Coulson, why I like him, the journey, Phil Coulson's character. I also like the journey of J. August Richards' character, playing the character of Deathlock. He starts off as this good guy, I thought he was just going to be in one episode, and then he slowly becomes Deathlock, being forced, just to keep his kids safe. I like Deathlock's character, just that whole story, the way he's written, just that whole, plot arc behind him, the whole subplot arc is just really cool. There's some great action scenes with him too, flying around, shooting, rockets out of his hands, sort of like in an Iron Man style. Just some really cool stuff. And then obviously, we have our character that shows up maybe 2 or 3 times in the show, the actor by the name of Samuel L. Jackson, playing the character of General Fury, are pretty much our main leader. If you've seen The Winter Soldier, you know that he pretty much has to go into hiding and fake his death. That way Hydra won't no longer come after him. Well, he plays a pretty pivotal role towards the end of the ABC television series with the name of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I really like his character. He comes in, I believe, once or twice at the beginning, and then he comes in again once at the end. So it's really cool that they got to have, a little more than a cameo. He doesn't just show up and then go away. He actually plays a pretty pivotal role that I just thought was really interesting. So once again, kudos to all those characters. Those are the characters that kind of struck my eye. I like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just because it's a really fun show. I love how their whole, they're building to this. I like, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of those shows, kind of like a police procedural, where there are like individual cases, individual superheroes where, the plot wraps up in just one episode, but there are also underlining story arcs too that make the series really great. It's one of those series that starts off really cool, it starts off pretty decent, and then about the halfway point it becomes extremely cool. Then if you watch, then it jumps back into, the individual case story, but if you watch the entire first season, you see how fun the show is, how action-packed it is. I think you might agree with me that it's just a really great show, and if you don't, that's okay too. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? Overall, I love the first season. Lots of great action, some great storytelling. Once again, best thing about it is I love how it just expands on this Marvel universe. I just like how, all these films are connected. That's just some really cool stuff, right? And I can't wait to see what Season 2 does in the fall. That's my review of the first season of the ABC television series with the name of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Once again, thanks for watching the video by Centipede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with more videos.